Good morning again, folks. Welcome to today's final front load and another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We are going to that horrible world known as the JRC, but before we do, the usual disclaimers. In the description box, you're going to find a link to the article that the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read. It's written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics, wherein they interviewed and surveyed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so-called behavior modification program. Matter of fact, the JRC doesn't want you to read this article so much, they've threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. Well, folks, NeuroClastic has refused, so you know the drill. Please read that article and share it on all your social media. Also included in there is NeuroClastic's public statement regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding, folks, in case the JRC actually sees through with their threat. Also included in there the link to the Ozarks first article in regards to Agape Boarding School, now known as Stone for Help Boarding School, a so-called Christian-themed boarding school based out of Stockton, Missouri that takes in so-called troubled male teens. That has been pending over 21 civil lawsuits, claims, and allegations leveled against it, all which have been substantiated by the Missouri Department of Social Services, and they include the following: sodomy, rape, sexual assault, child abuse, psychological and emotional abuse, child trafficking, starvation, and that's just for starters. You have one former staff member arrested by the FBI, a doctor still on the premises with full access to the boys up on multiple, again, substantiated claims of sodomy, rape, and sexual assault of the boys there. You have an attorney general too busy chasing after drag queens and trying and failing to defund public libraries to actually do his job, and you got a governor off his nuts. So please save the few remaining people here who have some form of sanity. Read that article, share it on all your social media. Also included, as always, all the pertinent links to the Stop the Shots campaign, including the article we are reading here, Autistica massive archive on the subject, Jennifer Masumba's behavioral sheet of shockable offenses, a clip out of the 7-hour ordeal undergone by Andre McCollins back in 2002, the templates, and the ever-present self-explanatory change.org shut the Judge Rotenberg Center down petition. When we discuss the JRC, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you do got young children present, folks, please go ahead and use those headphones, okay? Good. Trigger warning, this channel is marked not for kids. For a reason, we use profanity on occasion and speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they're watching this, very obviously parental supervision is advised, alright? Okay, I wanted to get into table 2 before we got back into the article, because I find it interesting. I think you're going to find it interesting. Parent recollection of prior behavioral assessment and behavior program planning. Excuse me. Especially question number 1. Were you involved in FBAs? An FBA is a full behavioral functional assessment, folks. Look at what it said. No, 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 across the board. Isn't that interesting? Full functional behavioral assessments is key. Key. Hear me on this. Key. Huge in formulating any type of treatment program when it comes to neurodivergent kids, okay? If you do not have one, or if it is one that is done improperly, like they do at the JRC, you can't be surprised when these things escalate, because very obviously things are not getting done, all right? Were you aware of any FBAs in place? Across the board, no. So what is this telling me? This is the scariest idea I'm contemplating here, that things are being done in scope of their treatment that parents are not being told. Okay? It's a parent's job to oversee their kids' mental and physical health. It is not the school's place to do these things without talking to the parents. When my assessment was done, it was recommended by the school, yes, but you know what actually happened? The school did not go behind my aunt or my mother's back. They told them that they needed it to get done, and then they chose where the assessment got done. And folks, it is extremely important who is conducting the assessment. Because if it is someone who has no business to be trying to conduct these types of things, like, I don't know, H's psychiatrist at the trial who doesn't believe you have to use the DSM-5? Yeah. Number 3, were you involved in the development of the behavioral intervention plans, BIPS, across the board? No. This is disturbing, folks. This is disturbing. This is a school system leaving the parents out of the mental health treatment of their kids. I'd sue. I would sue the pants off the district and everyone that's involved that was trying to go around my back and do mental health things for my kid. I don't have kids, but if I did, oh, they wouldn't like me. They would not like me. This is incredibly disturbing to me, folks. To leave parents out of the loop like this. And then you wonder when these behaviors pop up. Okay? We're all champions of parents when they want to send them to the JRC, but nobody wants to champion the parents when it comes to the very beginning of their kids' treatment. Were antecedent strategies tried? Look, across the board, no. This is extremely telling and disturbing because this is the epitome of passing the buck. No strategies were put into place. No assessments done. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Wow. Were positive consequence strategies used? All of them say yes. But I have to wonder about that. If everything else above says no, and this is one of the few things that says yes, you know what that tells me? That tells me everything was not indeed tried. Okay? How is positive behavioral reinforcement going to be allowed to do its job when a full functional behavioral assessment is not conducted? How is it supposed to believe that it's supposed to have any results when there is no type of behavioral intervention plan in place previously? If you do not do your foundational homework, you cannot be surprised when they just try to go into positive reinforcement and say, well, see, it didn't work. Of course it didn't work, jackass. There was no assessments done. There was no bits in place. There was literally no structure. This is mental health chaos that we're looking at here. And then you're surprised that it doesn't work? It's built on nothing. It's built on no data, nothing. Nothing. And then you're surprised it doesn't work and decide torture is the next answer? Jesus. For negative consequences used across the board? Yes. If ever I wanted to actually assault someone, today would be the day. It would be these individuals who put the parents through this. No foundation was laid. No work was done in order to come together with a program to actually fit the specific needs and the issues that each of these individual kids were having. This is throwing sticky putty at a wall and seeing what sticks. This is flying blind. You know how flying blind ends, don't you? You're gonna fly that plane into a mountain. You're dead. It's no wonder none of these things work and these kids kept getting passed from school to school to school because nobody laid the foundation. Nobody laid a foundation. There was no assessment. There was no behavioral plan put into place. There was nothing. People without any kind of education in this area, simply throwing things at it to see if it would work. And when it didn't, the kid went from school to school to school. Of course they did. Of course they did. Because no program was built around the almighty and extremely important full functional behavioral assessment. When you don't lay the foundation, of course it's going to fail. You're set up to fail. Okay? You're the equivalent of the biblical guy who built his house on sand. Okay? We're going to close out on that. Dear God, I might need therapy for the fact that these people did not do the proper therapy. We're going to go ahead and close out. I do appreciate your time coming over here to Spilling Tea today. As always, we hope you have a good one. Jesus Christ.